Remember, in our last video, we were looking at sports wearables. This is such a vast, new popular field that I'm going to dedicate a second section on it. Take a look at this amazing suite made by the company Heddoko. Wearables can be inserted all over. Just put it on. And this is the whole point. Wearables can measure movements, and from movements we can extrapolate the efforts of the athlete. Wearables can also directly measure muscle activity. Like an electrocardiogram measures the activity of the heart, which is of course a muscle itself. Here is another wearable called Athos, developed at the Stanford University. It also works by inserting into clothes. You can trace the activity of the muscles where the Athos is placed by means of electromyography. It reveals whether the changes in your muscles correspond to the exercise you are doing and whether you are working with the right muscles for the right exercise. A small parenthesis here for curiosity. In the middle of the word electromyography, there are the letters Saggio, a word-forming element from the Latin musculus, literally little mouse. The BWC ice hockey team uses wearables for measuring the muscle activity of its players, determining the muscle efforts of each player in real time. In this way, the coach can let the player continue or replace him according to the team's need. There are wearables useful for tracking your position too by incorporating a GPS, like Optimeye S5 by Catapult, developed by the Australian Institute for Sports. Basketball players can get an advantage from Solidshots for live motion capture, real-time analysis and receiving instant audio feedback, a buzz, and video feedback, flashing LEDs. Once you have defined your personal targets, you can evaluate your performance. Are you a boxer or a boxing fan? You won't believe this is real. Boxing gloves that tell you the total punches, split into numbers of left and right hooks, jabs, left and right uppercuts, speed, G-force, retraction time, intensity, metrics tracking boxing performances. This has never been seen in the ring before. It is called PIQ, Sport Intelligent, by Everlast and PIQ. For sports where head injuries are a risk, like football, boxing, hockey, and so on, there is the Reebok Checklight. This is an impact indicator with LEDs on the back of the neck, which lights up according to the severity and cumulative number of head impacts, sensed by an accelerometer and a gyroscope. But the same kind of wearables can also be used for less violent activities, like yoga. Here is a virtual trainer that suggests body movements, records your movements, and compares them to the ideal ones, so you can perform yoga without leaving your living room, but with feedback to guide you in doing yoga in the right way. Clothes with a teacher built into them. This is called PivotYoga. Meanwhile, the accumulation of lactic acid in muscles can create serious problems for athletes, as happened to the American Gabriela Anderson at the Olympic Games in Los Angeles in 1984. A clinically validated tracker called Humon Hex can also help. It measures muscle oxygen to allow athletes, sport teams and performance labs to optimize workout intensity, minimize injury and monitoring progress. Wearables can even be applied to swimming. As an example, I can tell you about Moov Swim, a wearable recording the number and duration of lengths, timing of flip turns, average stroke rates, comparing length speeds, and connected to a smartphone app through which all this can be reviewed. Tritonwear is similar. A smaller and less invasive wearable is MC10 microsamp by MC10 Incorporated. Extremely stretchable electronics for actigraphy, which is the monitoring of human rest and activity cycles. Very important are footwear wearables. If you are a runner, or a footballer, or a basketball or tennis player, you must have perfectly fitting shoes. Nike developed the Adapt BB shoes with a braking lacing system that electronically adjusts them to the shape of your foot. But shoes can be smarter still, by measuring the pressure of the foot on the ground and the movement of the ankle, and thus verifying correct walking or running. This innovation is called FootMoov, a new Italian brand. Xampion also manufactures smart shoes. This wearable slab slides into the shoes. During a football match, Xampion can measure the number of kicks you make, the part of the feet you use to kick, the kick velocity, the length you have run with the ball, the control you have over the ball. Data from wearables can be fed via a transponder to a receiving unit, useful for broadcast purposes. So all this incredible data can even be made available for TV viewers. So far, I've focused on wearables that are useful for collecting data from your body's activities and using it to improve your performances. Now, I want to show you wearables that are able to help your body while you are actually doing the sport. Kymira Celliant is an example of what we call regenerative clothing, developed at the Reading University in the UK. About 60% of the energy the body spends during activity is lost as heat. This wasted heat energy can be recycled to enhance performances and improve recovery times. It works by absorbing the heat from the body and the surroundings and remitting it back to the body, penetrating soft tissues and muscles so to increase body oxygen by as much as 20%. Another example of this comes from Footbea. When cycling, by pressing the arc of the foot, it increases blood circulation, releasing chemicals that encourage healing and pain relief. You could also try Lumiwave, an infrared therapy device that provides relief from aches and pain. So now, you too are an expert on the possibilities of sports wearables. When you go to the bed tonight, remember, not just to charge your smartphone, charge your shoes as well. Exercise every day keeps the doctor away, especially if it is properly monitored. Next time, we will look at a little bit at the history of wearables. I hope you can join me then. A presto!